Hello and welcome to this presentation for the 2025 winter programme for Thetford Golf Club. Over the course of the next 10 minutes or so, I'll be working through a handful of slides regarding works on holes 3, 4 and 5, as well as some tree thinning operations and other ancillary works which have already taken place, such as the blue tees and work down at the short game area. This video has also been timed for the release of the course development document, which is now available on the members website. I urge everybody to please go and have a look at that document, as that really covers the next 8 to 10 years worth of work that we plan to do at Thetford Golf Club. There are some changes in there, and we do welcome member feedback on those changes. We do plan to hold a members open evening regarding the course development document, which will be happening towards the end of January, beginning of February, and any kind of real issues can be teased out at that point, and any final changes made to the course development document, we can then sort of set that in stone, so to speak, and then we can go at it as and when the time allows. Kicking things off with some work that's already been completed, and that is the installation of the winter tee mats / blue course, which will be available year round. However, it is mainly used throughout the winter to rest the white and yellow tees, which take the full brunt of the winter play. This allows us to do a full renovation on those tees and then rest them and then get you back onto them early spring, hopefully with a much better playing surface than we've had in previous years. The tees are constructed using oak sleepers and Huxley Premier Tee Turf, which is one of the highest quality artificial turfs available in the golf course industry and is specifically designed for this use. Building upon the commentary from the last slide, in 2022 the club commissioned an independent performance report on the golf course, which is carried out by the Sports Turf Research Institute. The key summary findings are as follows: that the rate of recovery from wear in tees at Thetford Golf Club is commonly below the rate of damage, and that rest and rotation is needed. The situation is likely to be seen in winter months when temperatures are cool and the grass isn't growing, but equally in the summer months the surfaces become extremely hot, the irrigation coverage isn't great, and then the growth potential can be as equally bad in the summer as it is in the winter. I would support thought for installing winter tees, which we've just done, and then particularly consideration for any changes that would be applied to give a wider range of tee positions, forwards and backwards, extending the full 10 yards to comply with the world handicapping system. That's something that we also undertook this summer, and the new tee posts have been moved, and so that gives us as much space as we can possibly get on each and every tee as the tees currently stand. And then finally, when we are doing tee renovations, it's to include some fine texture perennial ryegrass seed, which we've just completed in the last 2 weeks. That seed is germinating and establishing at a really good rate, and obviously not having people playing on those tees is really helping with that. Hopefully we'll go through this winter period, the seed will continue to establish, and then we can get you back on the tees at the earliest possible opportunity in early spring, and you'll be playing off a much better surface than you have done in the past, and hopefully that leads us to better things throughout the season. That report was written by Paul Woodham. He's the previous head of agronomy at the Sports Turf Research Institute and is the current head of European agronomy for the RNA. So a lot of this information doesn't just come from internal sources, whether that's myself or other people involved with the running of the golf club, but also from independent assessors who are, to be fair, right at the top of the game in terms of their knowledge and experience. Moving on to the short game area, it's worth just revisiting what the two bunkers down at the short game area were like not 18 months ago. Obviously in incredibly poor state. We've since sort of renovated them and sort of made the best of bad situation. However, they were deteriorating, and felt that that was something that needed to be tackled. Therefore, we've pulled those two bunkers into one much larger bunker, and we've lined that in-house and turfed it. That's now fenced off, and we'll bring that back into play again early spring. So we'll fill it with sand, and then it'll be ready to go, and that gives all of the members a much better bunker practice facility. Moving out onto the golf course, we are currently working on the third hole, where we are rebuilding and renovating both greenside bunkers. There's a short description there of the work that's being done, but basically we're trying to make the most of the land that's in these areas, and make some bunkers which are more in keeping with those that we've reconstructed on the first and second holes. Also, there's some opportunities to add some extra heather to the carry and to the banking on the back edge of the left-hand side greenside bunker. So that work's well underway, and we'll hope to have those bunkers lined and turfed in the next few weeks. Moving on to the fourth hole, there's some slightly bigger changes going on here. Both the greenside bunkers will be renovated and lined again in the same style as those that we've previously reconstructed. And then the bunker short left of the approach and the bunker which is in the middle of the fairway will be removed. Both these bunkers don't really add a huge amount to the strategy of playing the hole, and the one in the middle of the fairway causes us significant issues with turf maintenance just due to the wear and tear because of the pinch points that are created with it being slap bang in the middle of the fairway. So to add slightly more interest to the drive, two fairway bunkers will be created on the right hand side of the hole, and then there may be one created also at the start of the fairway on the left hand side. However, we're going to build the two bunkers on the right hand side first. We'll see how that affects play throughout the 2026 season, and then in the winter program for 2026 we can always revisit that and put that bunker in should we feel that it's necessary. Moving on to the fifth hole, our efforts this year will be focused on rebuilding the red and yellow tees and moving those to the right hand side in the large amount of space that we have in that woodland. There's three reasons for that. One, to make the most of the space that we have on this golf course, which is considerable. Two, to improve the strategy needed for the drive from that tee. And three, to reduce the chance of any golf balls landing on the road. Obviously, there's a bit of a health and safety issue there from very bad drives off the yellow or red tee, and we're keen to avoid any potential issues with that. So that's where our efforts will be focused on that. Now, while we're doing that, the current red and yellow tee will be in play, or red and blue tee will be in play. We will rebuild the new ones and then grow those in, and then at some point throughout the year we will swap from one set of tees to the other. At that point there may be some remedial work required just to sort of demolish the old tees and reroute some traffic, but it shouldn't really be too onerous, and expect the disruption to be fairly minimal. So that's the tees taken care of. And then I'm also just going to include the commentary on the bunkers on this slide, although we will not be doing those this year. That will form part of next year's winter programme. So the first fairway bunker will be removed and a much larger fairway bunker created in the area where the second fairway bunker is currently located. The two bunkers which are short of the approach, the one on the right will be rebuilt, and the one on the left will turn that into a grassy hollow, which is right next to a load of hollows that already currently exist, so that should blend quite nicely there. And then both of the greenside bunkers are well located, and they will just be rebuilt again in a similar style to those that we have previously done. Also, the pit on the right hand side, which is surrounded by trees, is quite a unique feature. There are very few golf courses which have such things, and we feel that making the most of that as a hazard is something that we should do. So most of the trees around that pit will be removed, save for the ones on the right hand side to create or retain the screen for the road. and then we can renovate the steps. So if you do end up in that pit, you've potentially got a shot out where one currently doesn't really exist at all, because of you're not only in the pit, but you've also got all the trees to contend with as well. So we feel like there's the fifth hole has a lot to give, and hopefully all this work gets the most out of it. Moving on to the tree thinning and scrub removal, which will be taking place on holes 3, 4 and 5 this coming January. This work is complementary to all the other construction works that we're doing, and by and large it's a lot of the pine tree areas which are going to be thinned out. All of the trees that are dead, dying, unhealthy, they will all be removed first. Then areas that are crowded will also be tackled, and that will just leave us with all the nice specimen trees. Obviously we're keen to maintain the border down the side of the road as a bit of a buffer for noise, and for so you don't see all of the cars whizzing down there. So we're very mindful of that. And then any other sort of deciduous trees or random problem trees, they'll also be removed while we're doing this work. All of the stumps in these areas will also be removed, and we've been allowed by Natural England to sort of create a bund along the side of the road on the areas to the back of the third green and to the right of the fourth fairway. So all of the stumps can be removed, ripped out, pushed over to one side. We'll then scrape all of the mulch off, and hopefully that will leave us with a much better surface in those areas, and the heather regeneration will commence. Last but not least, we will also be hiring in a stump grinder to take care of a lot of the problem stumps. There's a bit of a legacy issue here from trees that have been felled in the past. If we think about the 17th green in particular, there's 2 or 3 large stumps there to the right hand side of that green, and also one at the back. And there's various other stumps throughout the golf course that need to be tackled. There's obviously still some clearing up from the tree work that was done last year between holes 7 and 10, and then anything else that we feel is a problem will also be taken care of. And that's pretty much it for this winter. There will be some other minor works going on around the golf course, bits of tidying up, post and rail that needs to be replaced, and so on and so forth. But what you've seen just there is the bulk of the work that will be happening this winter. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch and listen to this video, and also please do go and read the course development document. We welcome feedback, and as previously discussed, we will be holding a members open evening to address any potential concerns or final changes that we want to make to that plan, and we will go from there. I look forward to seeing you out on the golf course. Thank you.